Hello and welcome to CNT 120 online for spring of 2020. My name is David Cutter and I just wanted to quickly introduce you all to the course. So essentially this course is fairly simple. It's broken into two parts. Basically the lab portion, which is the significant portion of where you'll be learning the practical skills for managing a Windows server, and the lecture portion, the review questions portion, as far as your grade is concerned. That's where you'll be answering questions about Windows Server. Those are all, obviously, because it's an online class, open book. I do lectures that are totally optional. Every Monday from 5:30 to 6 o'clock. They are totally open to anybody who would like to joining in. I will record them, so if you couldn't make it during that time, if you're not available during that time, it will be available to you to watch later. So I'll post all of those online. Hopefully this is sharing. You can see what I'm seeing here. So this is the Canvas shell for the course. I've simplified this course down to just a handful of pages. First of all, you have the home page. That's where you'll kind of get the calendar and the breakdown of when things will be due. Week 1 and 2 is going to cover chapter 1, 3 and 4. We'll cover chapter 2, and so on. We cover a total of 8 chapters, but we don't go 1 through 8. We kind of skip around a little bit. We do not do chapter 6 in the textbook, and we do not do chapters 9 and 10 in the textbook. I believe there's a chapter 12 as well, if I'm not mistaken. I don't have my textbook in front of me, but we only do the chapters that are listed here. So chapters 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, and 11. And that just gives you the breakdown of when things will be due. So I expect you to turn things in every 2 weeks. That should give you plenty of time to get in contact with me if you're having trouble, or to work out bugs if you're having any issues like that. Beyond the 2-week period, I'm not so strict about has to be in on the due date exactly. You know, if you get something into me at some point, I may give you some points for it. It's just, I prefer it if you would keep it to that relatively strict schedule. I will close things out as time goes by, so you'll have to contact me if you haven't gotten something in. Beyond that, we have the modules page. This is where you're going to go to see everything. Right now, the only one that I have published is the introductory module. We're going to go through some of these things. This course welcome, I have an old video up here. This will be where this video is actually posted, as well as on the home page. Oops. I also have a little how this course works. This will break down exactly how we get into the labs. I'll demonstrate accessing that. A little welcome letter that explains the course, and so go through and read all of that info. I have the syllabus posted here. I'm not going to go too much in depth about the syllabus. You can read that if you'd like to. The only thing I will mention is the way that the grading is broken down. I've already kind of mentioned this. It's broken into 2 parts, 50-50. So 50% of your grade will come from the review questions, and 50% will come from the hands-on projects. Again, due dates are there as almost a formality. I will start closing things out as due dates go by, and if work isn't submitted, I may or may not accept it, depending on whether or not you're contacting me and staying in communication. So normally I don't do that, but because it's an online class with lots and lots of time and 8 chapters, I think it's more than fair to have a little bit more strict policy on my due dates. Those that have taken classes from me before, you may know that I'm pretty loose about due dates on a lot of things, but in this class I'm a little bit more strict on that. I do have office hours. Oh, that's something else I want to mention about the syllabus real quick. I do have office hours if anybody needs to meet with me in person. I'll be at the college on Tuesdays and Thursday evenings from 4:30 to 5:30 p.m. Or if you set an appointment up with me, I can meet with you. The other thing is this here is the class meeting hours. That is totally, like I mentioned, totally optional. It's not something that you have to be in. If you don't need it, if you don't want it, if you don't care to have the additional information. I will give lots of additional tips, tricks, things that I have used in the industry, extra bits of information that you may not get otherwise in those lectures. And like I say, they will be recorded. So if you can't make it to one, I'll post them. But I know that in times past, because it's an online course and people tend to be a little bit more busy or whatever, they've got schedules. I understand people have lives, so if you can't make it on that day at that time, that's totally understandable. If you can't watch them, it's totally fine. I want everybody to send me a screenshot. There's a snipping tool in Windows 8 and 10. Just screenshot anything so that I can see that you know how to do that. It's a 5-point assignment. It says no due date, but it'll be due this week, I suppose, this Friday. So everybody needs to get that into me. That's kind of first week's assignments, just to say, hey, you're participating in the class, you're doing it, you're here, and all that. So that way I can verify that you are actually a participating member of the class, as well as the fact that you know how to do a screenshot, because that's how you'll turn in your labs. So make sure you do that by Friday. Everybody's got a student number. Here's the list. So Nestor will be 01 and so on down the list. So with Jill being 25. So if you have a 1-digit number, you add a 0. The way this gets used is a lot of activities will have you put in your initials or something. Rather than putting in your initials, I want you putting in the student. I always explain in the labs where that would happen. So, okay. Last but not least, this I'm going to reserve another video for, but read through this PDF. I'm also going to do a demonstration video that shows you how to access the vSphere VMware so that you can do the labs. So I will stop this video now. We're about 5 minutes in or so. I think it's just the perfect amount of time for an intro video. So welcome to the class, and feel free to contact me if you have questions or anything else. Thanks.